Mo Dong is a cold and aloof young man who always finds the world boring. Outwardly, he works for a beer company, but he can easily see through people and understand their psychology. Today, he and his friends are going to a lavish birthday party for Miss Park Song-ae. Before arriving, he heard rumors about the Park family's wealth. Park Song-ae even owns a limited edition car. As soon as he arrived at the villa, he was accidentally bumped into by Jin Kang. Jin Kang quickly apologized, but Mo Dong only paid attention to the car and asked if she was its owner. Jin Kang honestly replied that the car belonged to her best friend. Mo Dong acted as if he had guessed it beforehand. Jin Kang wanted to know why he thought that. Mo Dong coldly said, "Because you're not pretty enough." This statement really angered Jin Kang, but Mo Dong didn't stop there. He also said something strange, "Just bought it," which confused Jin Kang until she met her brother, Jin Kook. As soon as Jin Kook saw her, he exclaimed, "You're so beautiful." He yanked the hooks off her dress. Only then did Jin Kang understand what Mo Dong had said earlier. While Mo Dong was busy assembling the beer crates, she had overheard the conversation between Song-ae and her fiancé, Dian. It turned out that this grand party and exhibition was prepared by Dian for her, but he had arbitrarily used someone else's work and claimed it was Song-ae's creation. Now he was forcing her to participate in an interview, which made her feel very uncomfortable. Her self-respect wouldn't allow it. She wanted to cancel the interview, or at least cancel the professor's work, but Di-Yuan is a true tycoon. He realized that relying solely on Song-ae's talent wasn't enough. He wanted to enhance Song-ae's reputation and wanted her to follow his wishes. While the two were still arguing, Mo Dong intentionally threw the wrench forcefully, startling Song-ae. Song-ae didn't expect anyone else to be there, but Di-Yuan was calmer. He took out a check, slipped it into Mo Dong's shirt, and gestured for Mo Dong to keep it a secret. Then Di-Yuan left to handle his business, leaving Song-ae alone. Still confused, Mo Dong advised her, "If you don't want to participate in the interview, then don't go." Hearing him say that, she immediately reminded him to abide by the agreement. Mo Dong calmly tore up the check. He had no intention of following the agreement. She was extremely surprised. This was the first time she had seen someone reject money. She asked him what Mu really wanted, but Mo Dong only wanted to know if she wanted to participate in the interview. Hearing him say that, she thought he was mocking her. Crying, she recounted her inner turmoil, saying she also wanted everyone to see her suffering. She knew her own strength, but things had come to this point, and she couldn't do anything else. Mo Dong knew her feelings. He told her to rest assured, she didn't need to participate in the interview anymore. She just needed to follow her heart. Mo Dong's words really made Song-ae think. She sat alone, agonizing for a long time. Even when the exhibition took place, she was still hesitant. Finally, Song-ae decided to participate. She appeared before everyone's expectations. At that moment, Mo Dong appeared and ruined the professor's artwork. Everyone was deeply saddened by the loss of the artwork, but Song-ae felt relieved, and Mo Dong's actions rekindled his feelings for Jin Kang. Jin Kang dragged Jin Kook to a beer bar where they met Mo Dong again. Jin Kook felt a strong sense of familiarity with Mo Dong, but Jin Kang insisted they didn't know each other. She was still angry because Mo Dong had said she wasn't beautiful, contrary to Jin Kang's opinion. Song-ae's eyes never left Mo Dong until the party ended. Song-ae secretly followed Mo Dong, who seemed to sense his presence, so he waited for her in a secluded corner. She asked him if he had intentionally broken the artwork. Mo Dong readily admitted it. When Song-ae asked him why, he said it was because she was too beautiful. This direct compliment made Song-ae a little embarrassed. At that moment, Dian saw her, called out to her, and wanted to come down to where they were. Seeing this, Mo Dong immediately pulled her into a secluded corner. Meanwhile, fireworks were continuously exploding in the sky, making the atmosphere between the two even more mysterious and romantic. After that, Dian, Zhuan called Sa, but Song-ae kept hanging up until Zhuan completely gave up. Mo Dong directly took Song-ae's hand and led her out of the hiding place. Mo Dong even proactively put his bracelet on her wrist, saying it was a birthday gift for her. Then Mo Dong immediately left, leaving Song-ae longing to see him. She thought she had found the true love of her life, but Song-ae didn't know that the moment Mo Dong turned his back, the smile on his face disappeared, leaving only cold and indifferent eyes. Song-ae really liked the bracelet Mo Dong had given her, and she sat there. She redrew the bracelet and giggled incessantly the next day. The next day, Song A found out Mo Dong's work address and mustered up the courage to go find him. Mo Dong didn't seem surprised to see her. He asked her to come back another time, but she suggested she go deliver goods with him. Song A, being a pampered young lady, was experiencing manual labor like delivering beer and other goods for the first time. Although the work was a bit tiring, Song A found it enjoyable. She liked the feeling of freedom and independence. Just then, while working, her bracelet accidentally broke, causing the decorative beads to scatter on the ground. Seeing this, Mo Dong immediately helped her fix the bracelet. Afterwards, Mo Dong even personally drove her home. Song A thanked him for everything, worried that he wouldn't like her. To her surprise, Mo Dong immediately denied it, saying that he missed her too. He even disregarded the fact that Song A already had a fiancé and kissed her on the lips. Song A was extremely surprised, but she quickly became immersed in the sweet kiss. While Song A was admiring the bracelet, she suddenly realized something. Something happened after she compared it to yesterday's drawing. She discovered that after Mo Dong corrected it, the order of the decorative beads hadn't changed at all. She couldn't believe her boyfriend was so clever. She remembered Mo Dong mentioning that Run was having trouble with tuition fees, so she kindly tried to help. She arranged to meet Mo Dong to give him the money she had prepared, but when Mo Dong reached out to take the money, Run unexpectedly let go, and the money flew away in the wind. It turned out she had investigated and found that Run wasn't on the student list. She suspected Mo Dong was taking advantage of her, but Momo didn't mind. He handed her his phone and quickly jumped into the river to retrieve the fallen bills. Just then, he received a call from the school informing him that Hun was attending a different facility. This meant she had wrongly accused Momo. She deeply regretted her actions, crying and repeatedly apologizing. Momo didn't blame her at all. He put the bracelet back on Momo, and the two quickly reconciled. Meanwhile, Jin Cook was having a terrible headache dealing with a new case. A young girl was injured, according to initial investigations. The girl was attacked by the perpetrator with a blunt object and then pushed off a balcony. After Jin Cook and Dong arrived at the scene, he noticed some irregularities and quickly reported them to Captain Lai. However, Captain Lai did not want him involved because Jin Cook was not part of the team in charge of this case. Dong did not understand why Captain Lai was so strict. Clearly, this case needed to be solved quickly. Dong could not contain his curiosity, so he sought out Jin Cook and hoped he would tell him about it. The strange thing was that Jin Cook showed him a photo taken earlier and a photo of the crime scene. The positions of the glass spheres were exactly the same, but there were dried bloodstains on the back of each sphere, indicating they had been knocked over and rearranged by the killer. Initially, Dong didn't understand Jin Cook's meaning, but after a while, he realized that the killer they were looking for was someone with an extremely high IQ, even possessing a superhuman memory. This allowed him to easily rearrange the spheres back to their original positions. Jin Cuc is an extremely thoughtful older brother who is always worried that Jin Kang will be lonely, so he arranged for her to go on a blind date with Dong. Jin Kang didn't want to upset her brother, so she happily agreed to the blind date. However, Jin Kang didn't expect Jin Cuc to stay and have tea and cakes with them, which made both of them feel awkward. Jin Kang had no choice but to proactively invite Dong to go for a beer, leaving Jin Cook alone and bewildered. But Jin Cook still wouldn't give up. He secretly followed Jin Kang and found a good spot to observe her. Jin Kang and Jin Cuc unexpectedly encounter Mo Dong. Jin Kang has a feeling he's known Mo Dong before, but he can't remember anything. Jin Kang is happily chatting with Mo Dong, who is quite surprised to see her. He didn't expect them to get along so well. He hopes they can move to a more ambiguous stage and gradually get to know each other. Just then, a staff member passing by accidentally spills beer on Jin Kang, causing her to immediately take off a jacket. She quickly grabs a towel to cover the scar on her arm. Mo Dong appears just in time. Mo Dong then draped his jacket over Jin Kang, covering Jin Kang's arms as they left. Mo Dong looked up at Jin Kang and gave him a provocative smile. The next day, Song A excitedly arranged to meet Jin Kang. She wanted to introduce her genius boyfriend, but as soon as Mo Dong appeared, Jin Kang immediately recognized him. Not wanting to spoil the atmosphere, she pretended it was their first meeting, but Mo Dong immediately exposed her. He said they had met 3 times already, and this was their 4th. Jin Kang, fearing a misunderstanding, explained that they had only met by chance and were merely acquaintances. However, he enthusiastically invited Jin Kang into his car, offering to have Mo Dong drive him home. Jin Kang immediately refused. knowing she had to maintain distance from her best friend's boyfriend before going home. He then gave Mo Dong a ceramic piece she had made herself. She wanted a farewell kiss, but he reminded her there were cameras. Hearing this, she kissed him on the lips. Now, she was no longer afraid of such things. Seeing that A had taken the initiative, Mo Dong immediately gave her a passionate kiss. After experiencing sweet love with Mo Dong, A realized he had to have a clear conversation with Dian. He arranged to meet Dian and proposed breaking up, saying he had found someone he truly liked, his first love. Dian heard this and gave a sarcastic smile. He didn't care about first love or last love. He allowed her to date Mo Dong, but there could be no physical relationship. The next day, Jin Kang spotted Mo Dong at the laundromat. She hurriedly returned to get her coat. To return it to him, she had washed it clean a long time ago but still hadn't had the chance to return it. Jin Kang thanked her for helping her that day. Just then, Dong called and invited Jin Kang to watch a movie. She happily agreed. Dong overheard the conversation and teased them about their ambiguous relationship. Unexpectedly, Jin Kang got angry. She also wanted to ask why he said they had met 3 times before, when she clearly remembered only meeting him twice. She wanted to know when the other meeting was. Dong subtly hinted that they had met. Having known each other for a long time, Jin Kang nervously waited for him to continue, but Mo Dong continued to joke, saying that he thought she looked very much like his long-lost sister, a very cute sister. At this point, Jin Kang was truly furious. She couldn't believe he was such a rude, arrogant, and delusional person who thought every girl was crazy about him. This was the kind of person she hated most. Then Jin Kang immediately stood up and left. Just then, she saw a cat lying under the truck's wheel. She quickly signaled the driver to stop. Mo Dong also ran over and picked up the cat. He even asked, "Do you want to keep it?" Jin Kang shook his head. Without hesitation, he took the cat home. This action of Mo Dong slightly changed Jin Kang's perception of him. Perhaps he wasn't as hateful as he seemed. When Mo Dong came to the beer factory to work, he showed him the wad of money Song A had given him. Although he said he wouldn't take it, Song A left it and ran away. Seeing the large sum of money in his hand, he was overjoyed. It turned out that Mo Dong had really told him to disguise himself as a student. He didn't understand why he had lied to Mo Dong. Dong frankly stated that this was the quickest way to manipulate a wealthy young lady. While Jin Kang was watching a movie with Dong, she spotted Dong with a strange girl who was connected to a recent case. This made Jin Kang feel uneasy. She suspected Dong was being deceitful. After leaving the movie theater, Dong took the cat to get vaccinated. The cat seemed frightened and ran away. While Dong was chasing the cat, he was almost hit by Jin Cook, but luckily he wasn't injured. Jin Cook even kindly gave Dong a ride. After that, Mo Dong told Jin Cook to just stop on the other side of the road, but Jin Cook enthusiastically wanted to drive him all the way home. Mo Dong praised Jin Cook as a thoughtful police officer, and then recounted that his father used to be a police officer, having worked at the Hezan police station. Upon hearing Hezan, Jin Cook's expression changed, but when Mo Dong asked if he knew anyone there, Jin Cook immediately replied no. The car quickly stopped in front of Mo Dong's house. Before getting out, Mo Dong continued to ask Jin Cook if he had a gun and if he had ever used one. "Have you shot anyone yet?" Jin Cook immediately joked to brush it off, but Mo Dong wouldn't let him off the hook. Mo Dong continued to ask Jin Cook about how he felt when someone died because of him, whether it felt like becoming a god. Seeing Mo Dong's words, Jin Cook immediately became serious. Killing people doesn't make you a god. Killing people only makes you a wicked criminal. Only then did Mo Dong let him go. Jin Cook felt that Mo Dong was not simple at all. Jin Cook returned to the police station and immediately asked the police to investigate him. First, they investigated the list of those with criminal records. Jin Cook always had a feeling he had met Mo Dong before. That evening, the police brought the results to Jin Cook, but Mo Dong was not on the list. Jin Cook felt it was strange. He always had the feeling he had met Mo Dong before. Moreover, when he saw Mo Dong, his whole body tensed up as if he had seen a dangerous creature. After meeting Jin Cook, Mo Dong had a date with Song A. While the two were being affectionate, Jin Cook called. She wanted to remind Song A about what happened that morning, but when she actually spoke to him, she hesitated. She wanted to confirm who the girl was and whether Mo Dong was truly sincere with Song A. The next morning, Jin Kang encountered Mo Dong in a noodle shop. She immediately approached him and asked about the girl from that day. Mo Dong simply said that she was his younger sister. Jin Kang didn't believe him. She asked if, in his eyes, all women were his adorable younger sisters. Mo Dong immediately denied it. In his eyes, there was only her. Jin Kang couldn't believe him. She was flirting with him again, wanting to know if he was sincere with Song-ae. Mo Dong didn't answer immediately, but instead changed the subject. He wanted to know if she was sincere with him. He thought the police profession was quite stable, but Mo Dong was too naive. Would she really like someone like that? Jin Kang warned him not to change the subject. Mo Dong then asked her, "If I'm not sincere with Song-ae, how would you feel?" Jin Kang answered without hesitation, saying he would be angry. Mo Dong thought she was lying, but he thought she might even feel happy and develop special feelings for him. She was different from him. She just hadn't realized it yet. Seeing Jin Kang angry at her words, Mo Dong turned back and replied that he was sincere with Song-ae. Just then, the owner brought her noodles. Jin Kang immediately rolled up his sleeves to eat the bowl of noodles. Seeing Mo Dong staring at his hand, she asked him if he had never seen a burn scar before. Mo Dong found it strange that she didn't hide it like last time. Jin Kang said that it was the first time they had a blind date, so she noticed it, but now she didn't care at all. That evening, when Mo Dong went to take a shower, he unconsciously touched the burn scar on his hand. His shoulders slumped, his eyes lost in deep thought. The murder case of the female student had taken a new turn. The suspect, who was also the victim's boyfriend, had been arrested by the police. During questioning, the police wanted to know where he had hidden the trophy used to attack the victim, but throughout the interrogation, the suspect never admitted to killing her. He admitted to having argued with the victim, but denied harming her. Afterwards, he only cried and begged the police to investigate thoroughly to quickly catch the real culprit. Once again facing a deadlock, Jin Kang and her colleagues visit the brewery they're about to collaborate with. Initially, Jin Kang was very excited, but when she saw Mo Dong, she felt unlucky. Mo Dong was also surprised to find out she was a designer. Jin Kang warned him not to do anything wrong to Song-ae, or she wouldn't forgive him, but Mo Dong ignored her. Jin Kang couldn't believe he was so shameless. Or perhaps he was too confident in his charm and eloquence, but she always had a way to deal with him. "With someone like you, this will be the last time." They spoke privately, and after saying that, Jin Kang turned and left. Just then, she heard the sound of a flag and Mo Dong's desperate scream. Thinking he had gotten his hand caught in the grinding machine, she quickly turned back. She quickly turned off the machine and gently helped him free his hand. When Mo Dong pulled his hand out, she realized it was just a prank. He had deliberately acted to get her to come back. This time, Jin Kang was truly angry. She couldn't accept such a dismissive act. Mo Dong looked at Jin Kang angrily and left. He seemed lost in thought as the police continued their investigation into those involved in the case. To find more clues, Dong took charge of investigating Juji's side. After meeting with Juji, Dong showed her a picture of the trophy and asked if she knew anything about it. Juji didn't provide any clues. She coldly turned and left. But when Juji returned to her room, she immediately became tense. It turned out that she had accidentally seen the trophy in her room that night. This frightened her. She quickly contacted Dong, but when he didn't answer the phone, Juji went directly to find him. She thought the culprit had secretly brought it into her room, but that night she didn't hear anything. She didn't understand why he would give it to her. Dong heard this and only asked if she slept well that night. Juji immediately replied that she had slept very well since meeting him and no longer needed sleeping pills. This scene was witnessed by Rin Cook and the police. Cook quickly realized that Ji was an acquaintance of the victim. Jin Cook ordered Cho Dong to investigate Ji, but the investigation results showed, seeing that, apart from being a close friend of the victim, she didn't act in any unusual way. Jin King felt extremely uneasy. He always had a feeling this case was related to Mo Dong, but he couldn't find any more clues. Today, Jin Kang went to the brewery again. When he saw Mo Dong, Jin Kang was surprised. He discovered a scar on his shoulder. After the examination was complete, Jin Kang quickly returned home. She didn't want to be alone with Mo Dong. At that moment, it started raining outside. Jin Kang had no choice but to turn back and ask to borrow an umbrella. Mo Dong said that there were no public umbrellas here, so he would drive her home. Jin Kang didn't want to go alone with him, so she took a piece of cardboard intending to use it temporarily until they reached a convenience store to buy an umbrella. Unexpectedly, Mo Dong rushed over and stopped her. He coldly threw away the cardboard and made her wait for him before quickly driving to pick her up. All the way, Jin Kang tried to remain silent, but Mo Dong's inexplicable actions drew her attention to the burn on his shoulder until they stopped at a convenience store. Jin Kang was annoyed with Mo Dong. She couldn't understand why he kept changing his personality. Sometimes he was childish, only knowing how to tease others, and other times he was angry for no reason. His behavior was very irritating. Seeing Jin Kang angry, he wondered why she didn't ask about his scar. After all, other women would feel sorry for him and ask about it. Jin Kang didn't expect that he had deliberately shown her the scar. This childish behavior made her laugh. Just then, Song-ae called Mo Dong. Jin Kang urged her to hurry. "Answer the phone quickly. Don't make Song-ae worry," he said. But Mo Dong didn't listen to him, saying she was with another woman and wouldn't answer Song-ae's call. Mo Dong's words made Jin Kang feel it was absurd. Seeing Jin Kang like that, Mo Dong suddenly felt annoyed. He didn't want to talk to her anymore and quickly took her home. The next day, Din came to Mo Dong's room. He wanted Mo Dong to research a new formula for his wedding with Song-ae. Although Song-ae wanted to cancel the engagement, both Din and her mother disagreed. Song advised her to be well-behaved and not anger Di-yuan, otherwise their family wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. Now Di-yuan even deliberately came to provoke Mo Dong, but Mo Dong didn't react strangely. He happily agreed to research the new formula. Seeing that Mo Dong wasn't angry, Di-yuan felt a little uneasy. Returning to the case, Jin Kook accidentally saw a newly bought snow globe in the boyfriend's suitcase. Jin Kook immediately took it to the cell and asked the boyfriend where he would put it. The boyfriend completely didn't understand what Jin Kook was saying. He wanted Jin Kook to explain more clearly so he would know how to answer. Seeing his bewildered expression, Jin Kook was certain he wasn't the culprit. While reviewing the security camera footage near the scene, Jin Kook spotted a suspicious person, but a large umbrella obscured them, preventing him from identifying them. It wasn't until he got home that Jin Kook accidentally saw a familiar drawing. He asked Jin Kang about it and learned it was the logo of the beer company where Mo Dong worked. He also told Jin Kook about how Mo Dong could easily rearrange more than 20 decorative beads on a bracelet without any misplacement. Hearing Jin Kook's story, Jin Kook immediately pieced everything together. He quickly took the snowball and went to Mo Dong's house. When Jin Kook asked him to throw the snowball to him, Mo Dong unconsciously used his left hand to catch it. This action showed that Mo Dong was left-handed, which matched the identifying characteristics of the culprit. Jin Kook then asked him about the arrangement of the snowballs. Mo Dong immediately described the position of each one. The spheres and their arrangement perfectly matched what Jin Kook saw at the scene. From that, Jin Kook was certain that Mo Dong was the culprit. He would quickly find the evidence and bring Mo Dong to justice. Mo Dong remained incredibly calm upon hearing this. He even encouraged Jin Kook, saying, "Go for it." Then, Mo Dong turned and went inside. After entering, Mo Dong's eyes gradually became dangerous. Jin Kook warned Jin Kang to stay even further away from Mo Dong and to prevent him from getting close to him. Jin Kang wanted to know the reason why, but Jin Kook, he didn't tell her, only saying that Mo Dong was a very dangerous person. Jin Kang was confused by his warning. Meanwhile, Song-ae had frankly told her mother that she wouldn't marry Din, but her mother adamantly refused. For the sake of the family, she was forced to marry Din under her mother's coercion. Song-ae still had to prepare to attend the party at her future husband's house, but on the way, she couldn't stop thinking about Mo Dong. He had once told her to be brave and true to herself. Finally, Song-ae mustered up her courage and ran away. Escaping from Din, she ran straight to Mo Dong's place. Now, all she wanted was to be with the man she loved. She even willingly gave herself to him. After returning, Song-ae arranged to meet Di and to return what Din had given her. She frankly admitted that she had slept with Mo Dong and would never regret it. Din was extremely angry. He angrily chased Song-ae out of the car and coldly left. Song-ae's mother couldn't forgive her, so she confiscated her phone and locked her at home. When Jin Kang called, Song-ae's mother, Song-ae had just answered the phone, but she seized the opportunity to signal for help to Jin Kang. She wanted Jin Kang to contact Mo Dong. Jin Kang couldn't stand by and watch Song-ae suffer, so she went to the brewery to get Mo Dong's phone number. After getting the number, she quickly texted him saying that Song-ae was being held captive and that she wanted to see him. Mo Dong received the message and immediately asked about the reason for Song-ae's confinement. After some thought, Kang decided not to reveal the reason, only reminding him to be on time for their meeting. The next day, Jin Kang went to Song-ae's house, lying that he was taking her out to play so he could escape his mother's watchful eyes, and led Song-ae to a meeting place with Mo-dong. Jin Kang didn't know if he was doing the right thing, but Song-ae was incredibly happy. She said that only when she was with Mo-dong could she be herself. Seeing Song-ae so happy, Jin Kang hoped this was the right thing to do so they could have some private space. Jin Kang understood and moved away, but all their actions were recorded. Song-ae's mother quickly arrived at the meeting place. As soon as she got out of the car, she slapped Jin Kang, scolding her for being an uneducated girl who had spoiled her family. Jin Kang couldn't believe her mother was being so unreasonable. Before she could explain, her mother dragged her away. This was the first time Jin Kang had been slapped, and she was utterly shocked. The pain and shame made her want to leave quickly, but Mo-dong chased after her, constantly comforting her and even inviting her to eat. Jin Kang couldn't take it anymore and yelled at him, saying she didn't want to eat anything, and that it was all his fault. What mother wouldn't worry seeing her child dating someone like him? Mo-dong, angered by her mother's words, didn't say anything more and quickly turned to leave. However, once again, she was confined by her mother. While the nanny was away, Mo-dong quickly used the nanny's phone to send a message to Jin Kang. When Jin Kang received the message, she had mixed feelings. Although angry at her mother's actions, she couldn't refuse her best friend's request. Finally, Jin Kang arranged to meet Mo-dong again, while Mo-dong, looking dazed at the ceramic vase that Song-ae had given him, he thought of Jin Kang being slapped and decisively threw the vase into the trash can. Seeing Mo-dong like that, he thought that Song-ae had kicked him. He quickly went to see Jin Kang. Jin Kang conveyed Song-ae's message and apologized for raising her voice at him that day. Mo-dong didn't accept the apology. Instead, she climbed onto her bicycle and insisted that she treat him to a meal. Jin Kang watched him casually ride away and quickly chased after her, surprised at how childish he was. At the restaurant, Mo-dong read Song-ae's message. It said, "I'll be smarter. I'll definitely find a way for the two of you to be together forever," she said, hoping he would wait a little longer. But what caught Dong's attention was that despite the long message, Song-ae didn't apologize to Jin Kang at all. Instead, she helped Song-ae relay Jin Kang's message, saying that Song-ae was too hasty. Furthermore, this would be the last time she helped Song-ae, mentioning the slap and kiss. Jin Kang felt guilty towards Jin Seok for not protecting herself well. She had lost her parents at a young age and had always been protected by Jin Seok, yet, nearly 30, seeing Mo-dong staring at her, Jin Kang thought he was pitying her, but unexpectedly, Mo-dong revealed that he also had no parents and had lived in an orphanage since childhood. This was a past he had never told anyone. The two continued to chat about their memories, and the atmosphere between them gradually became more relaxed. On the way back, Jin Kang discovered that they had once lived in the same city, Hezan. After talking with him, Jin Kang felt that he wasn't such a bad person after all. She believed they could become friends. Just as Mo-dong turned to leave, a rare smile bloomed on his lips. This sight caught Juze's eye. She had never seen Mo-dong so happy. Juze lay dejectedly on the bed, reminiscing about her past, about the time she considered ending her life. It was Mo-dong's appearance that had kept her from leaving. Now, Mo-dong had become distant, causing her insomnia to relapse. She sought help from a psychologist to buy medication, but the doctor couldn't sell her anymore. He wanted to listen to her innermost thoughts, so Juze told him about Mo-dong. Since then, she knew him well, but she had never seen Dong smile so brightly. Even the stories he told Jin Kang were things she had never heard before. Now she felt very uneasy. She begged the doctor to give her medicine. After returning home, she was dazed and listless. Seeing her boss send her to buy light bulbs, Du took the money and left, but the boss called her back and threw her an umbrella. He said, "It's raining heavily outside. Hurry up and come back quickly." Doozy walked numbly in the rain. Strangely, her umbrella also had the beer company logo and her image on it, very similar to the mysterious figure who appeared near the crime scene. Jin Kang looked at the rain, which was falling like a drop of water. She remembered that Jin Seok had a gathering today, so she called him to tell him to wait for her and quickly brought an umbrella to pick him up. Jin Seok was afraid that Jin Kang would be in danger if he went out. He hurriedly ran home in the rain. As soon as he reached the alley, he saw his younger sister's figure. Jin Seok hid in a corner to scare her. Just then, a car suddenly sped straight towards her. Jin Cuc panicked and rushed to shield Jin. Fortunately, neither of them were injured. Jin Cuc went to check on the car, unexpectedly finding Juji unconscious in the car. The two immediately took him to the hospital. Tests showed a small amount of sleeping pills in his blood, but not enough to cause serious injury. Jin Kang asked Jin Kook if they should wait for Juja to wake up. Jin Kook asked if she knew Mo Dong's number, saying he thought they were quite close and perhaps Mo Dong would have Juja's family's number. Following her brother's advice, Jin Kang called Mo Dong, who was intently staring at the bloodstained trophy he'd accidentally picked up while searching for his cat. He knocked over a plastic box in front of the house, revealing the trophy. Not only the trophy, but also an envelope stained with blood. He didn't know how long it had been hidden there. After receiving a call from Jin Kang, Mo Dong immediately went to the hospital to inquire about Jin Kang's condition. Jin Kang said it was just a minor injury, nothing to worry about. Just then, Jin Kook returned and wanted to talk to Mo Dong privately. Jin Kook checked the dashcam footage and realized that Ji had been waiting in front of his house for 2 hours. That means she intentionally harmed Jin. He suspects this is related to Mo Dong. Perhaps Ju was afraid he would threaten Mo Dong, so she acted first. Mo Dong didn't care about his suspicions. No matter what, Mo Dong never intended to harm Jin. Mo Dong stayed to take care of Du Ji. Finally, Ju gradually regained consciousness, but when she opened her eyes, she looked around vaguely. It seemed Ju didn't remember anything that had happened. She didn't understand why Mo Dong had brought her here. Mo Dong told her to see for herself. She went back to the CCTV footage to find out what she had done, and the person who brought her there wasn't him, but police officer Jin Kang. After reviewing the CCTV footage, Ji was extremely frightened. She quickly removed the memory card and deleted it immediately. That evening, Dong came to find Ji. He wanted to know why she did it. Ji wanted him to promise not to be angry before she would honestly tell him. Ji honestly revealed that the reason was because she was jealous of Jin Kang. Seeing how he treated Kang specially, she couldn't control herself. After hearing the reason, Mo Dong coldly turned and walked away. Unexpectedly, he was still angry, so she chased after him outside. She wanted to know why he liked Jin Kang. At this point, Mo Dong still hadn't realized his feelings. He just smiled faintly and said he would go home to think about it. Seeing that Mo Dong still intended to leave, Juji immediately brought up the recent case. She remembered everything and threatened Mo Dong. "If you don't stay, I'll tell everything to the police." Mo Dong didn't care at all about the threat. He resolutely turned and left. But Ri's words really made him think about their relationship, Mo Dong's feelings for Jin Kang. While waiting for Jin Kang, she was lost in thought. When Jin Kang saw Mo Dong, she was a little surprised. She didn't expect him to pick her up from work. Mo Dong told her to leave 30 minutes early tomorrow, otherwise their date time would be very short. Jin Kang didn't pay attention to his rambling words, but unexpectedly, Mo Dong frankly proposed that she go on a date with him. He felt that he really liked her. Jin Kang was stunned by the sudden confession. She mumbled, calling him crazy. Mo Dong repeated his confession once more, saying he wanted her. Spending more time with Jin Kang reminded him of his responsibility towards Song A. He was still her boyfriend, yet he was flirting with someone else. Mo Dong didn't seem to care much. He even had the mood to tease Jin Kang. Jin Kang still decided to go find Juji. He wanted to know why she intended to harm Jin Kang. Juja felt annoyed by the constant harassment and frankly told her that Mo Dong liked Jin Kang and wanted to kill him out of jealousy. Jin Kang went crazy upon hearing this news. Jin Kook immediately handcuffed Juji and took her to the police station for attempted murder. He then quickly went to Ri's to retrieve the camera's memory card as evidence, but discovered it was missing. Through the camera footage from a nearby restaurant, Jin Kook knew where Juji had thrown the memory card. Jin Kook had a hard time finding it. He carefully wrapped the memory card up. Just then, Cho Dong called. The boy was worried that Jin Kook would arrest Juji without evidence. Hearing Jin Kook's assurance that he had the evidence, Cho Dong felt somewhat relieved. Dong immediately revealed to him that he had heard that Ji had mental health issues, and that her family was very complicated. She had even appeared in a psychology book by Dr. Jiang, and coincidentally, that book was the same one Jin Kuk was holding. Jin Kuk quickly hung up and read about Ji's story. After reading it, Jin Kuk contacted the police and asked them to release Ji. After the wedding was ruined, Di Yuan was extremely angry. He ordered Dong to be fired, and everyone in the company was furious. Song A was reluctant, but since Yuan was the largest shareholder, they couldn't disobey his orders. Song A, however, was still unaware of this. She was excitedly telling Jin Kang about her plan to elope with Mo Dong. To carry out her plan, Song A had secretly sold her pottery factory for over 2 billion won. She began to dream of a happy future with Mo Dong, and worried about the hardships Mo Dong had endured. Jin Kang wanted to tell Song A the truth, but she couldn't bring herself to speak, only asking if Mo Dong had agreed to elope with Song A. Song A decided she would ask him tomorrow, but she believed he would be very happy. The next day, Mo Dong still came to Jin Kang's house to take her to work, but Jin Kang resolutely got on the bus. Mo Dong didn't give up. He drove his truck alongside her. Jin Kang saw Mo Dong calling him and coldly told him to get lost. This time, Mo Dong obediently listened to her. When she arrived at the beer company, she found out that he had been fired. Han thought Mo Dong was fired because of her. Song A knew she was at fault this time, but she really had something she wanted to talk to Mo Dong about. Song A couldn't reach him by phone, so she had no choice but to ask Run to help her contact him. When she saw Mo Dong, she was overjoyed. Mo Dong didn't answer, making her worried that he might be sick. Song A apologized for causing him to be fired, but said he didn't need to find a new job anymore. She had prepared everything. All he needed was to be ready to leave with her, and they would build a happy future together. Song A looked at him expectantly, but in response, Mo Dong said that there was no such thing as love in this world, and he had never loved her. Those harsh words left Song A speechless. Heartbroken, Jin Kang rushed over and saw Song A crying uncontrollably. She still thought she was to blame. Jin Kang helplessly watched Song A, trying to explain that she wasn't at fault. Mo Dong wasn't a good person, but Song A refused to believe him. Jin Kang didn't know what to do to make Song A realize her mistake. Seeing her best friend in such pain, Jin Kang decided to go find Mo Dong. She asked him if he had ever truly loved Song A. Mo Dong frankly admitted that he had never felt anything for her. He had approached Song A only out of curiosity. Song A no longer attracted him, so he left, and how Song A dealt with her feelings was her business. He didn't care about that. Jin Kang didn't expect him to be like that. She asked him if he had ever truly loved anyone. Facing her question, Mo Dong frankly replied that he genuinely liked her, but Jin Kang felt that wasn't love. He fundamentally still didn't understand what love was. She suddenly felt sorry for Mo Dong. Then Jin Kang turned and left, but her gaze and her words, that pitiful thought kept lingering in Mo Dong's mind. Every time he remembered her, he immediately felt irritated. Mo Dong decided he wouldn't sit still anymore. He went to Jin Kang's house and waited for her to come home. When Jin Kang returned, Mo Dong immediately asked the question that was bothering him. But before Mo Dong could ask one question, Cho Dong appeared, bringing her the stew his mother had cooked. Jin Kang thanked him profusely. Then she proactively invited Cho Dong to dinner, but unexpectedly, Mo Dong secretly followed along. During the meal, Cho Dong's mother kept texting him, urging him to hurry up. Mo Dong's eagerness to win Jin Kang over, fueled by his mother's encouragement, gave him the courage to cautiously take Jin Kang's hand. Jin Kang knew Mo Dong was always following them, so when Mo Dong let go, she proactively took his hand. Even when Mo Dong suggested they go on a date instead of being ambiguous, Jin Kang quickly agreed. After arriving home, Mo Dong mustered the courage to kiss Jin Kang, but she was interrupted by Mo Dong from behind. Mo Dong deliberately made a noise, cutting off their good time and leaving Mo Dong flustered. He shyly said goodbye to Jin Kang, and after Mo Dong left, Jin Kang approached and asked why she called him pitiful. He had heard many people say he was pitiful, but he felt only she was sincere. Jin Kang was still angry with him. She told him to think about how he had treated everyone. After saying that, she coldly turned and went into the house. Seeing her like that, Mo Dong could only sigh helplessly. Although Jin Kang outwardly appeared indifferent, when she got home she was still thinking about Mo Dong. When Jin Kang returned, he encountered Mo Dong outside the gate. He immediately warned Jin Kang to stay away from him. He always felt that Mo Dong was even more dangerous. He had uncovered a crucial clue: dashcam footage from a car passing by the crime scene. The footage clearly captured images of Mo Dong. To learn more about the case, Jin Cuc decided to meet Mo Dong. He asked Mo Dong where he had been that night. Mo Dong nonchalantly said he was at home sleeping. Seeing this, Jin Cuc frankly stated that he had found evidence of Mo Dong's presence near the crime scene. Moreover, he had been splashed with water by a passing car, yet Mo Dong acted as if nothing had happened. Understanding what Jin Cook was saying, and continuing to joke as usual, Jin Cook suddenly realized that although it seemed like a joke, every word still contained a truth. Mo Dong thanked Jin Cook for praising him, but he was not really the culprit. He also wanted to know who the real culprit was. Ending the conversation, Mo Dong turned to go inside. At that moment, he took off his outer shirt, revealing a scar on his shoulder. Jin Cook was startled when he saw the scar. He stared at it as if deep in thought, remembering Jin King saying that Mo Dong also used to live in Isan. He suddenly, thinking of the child he had always been searching for, and noticing that Momong was uncooperative, Jin Cook continued his investigation from RI's side. He went to see Dr. Jiang to inquire about her condition. Initially, Dr. Jiang didn't reveal anything, but when Jin Cook mentioned that he had read his book and knew that the character in Chapter 7 was Juji, Dr. Jiang finally revealed a few things. In fact, Juji was a child who lacked affection from a young age. She had been neglected by her mother, needed more time, and needed someone she could trust and care for after leaving home. As Jin Cuc walked past Mo Dong's house, he was surprised to see a large crowd gathered. Looking up, he saw Juja standing on the rooftop, seemingly intending to jump. Cuc quickly ran up to stop her, trying to persuade her to come down, but Juji ignored him. She stared blankly at the crowd below, then boldly jumped. Jin Cuc immediately rushed forward and grabbed her hand. Seeing Jin Cuc save her, a dangerous glint flashed in Juja's eyes, and she reached up to pull him down. She wanted to drag him down with her. Both of them immediately fell freely to the ground. Dong, terrified, closed his eyes tightly. At that moment of danger, the police had prepared life rafts in time, so both of them were lucky to escape. After giving a statement, Jin Cook kindly took Du home. He was about to offer further advice when Ji interrupted him, saying she had regained her senses and no longer intended to seek revenge, so the police officer should rest assured. Jin Cook breathed a sigh of relief. Just then, Officer TAC angrily arrived and scolded Jin Cook, asking why she was so reckless. He asked if she knew how worried she was when she heard the news. No matter how worried and scared she was, Police Officer TAC scolded him, then angrily left. Jin TC hurriedly tried to stop her. Police Officer TAC ignored him and said she wouldn't see him again. After losing her sister, she kept going to the beer bar and getting drunk, but this time she drank until she was completely intoxicated. Having no other choice, Jin Kang called Mo Dong. While Mo Dong was helping her wipe her face, Jin Kang arrived, and the two of them took her home. Throughout the journey, Jin Kang remained silent, not speaking, which Mo Dong didn't like. With this appearance of hers, he was used to a Jin Kang who was always arguing with him. Mo Dong couldn't help but tease her, asking why she was so well behaved today. Her eyes at that moment were truly delightful. Jin Kang was used to his flirtatious words, so she decided not to answer. When Mo Dong arrived home, Jin King wanted him to wait outside while she took Song-ae inside, but Mo Dong told her to get out of the car while he would directly confront Song-ae's mother. When Song-ae's mother saw Mo Dong, she didn't get angry or scold her. Instead, she drove directly to Song-ae's house. After entering the house, her attitude surprised Jin Kang a little. Then, they both called a taxi to go home. While looking for a taxi, Mo Dong calmly stood in the middle of the road. Jin Kang watched the cars whizzing past him, afraid he might be in danger, so she proactively pulled him to the side of the road. Seeing Jin Kang's concern for her, Mo Dong felt a little happy inside. The next day, Song-ae woke up with a headache. The nanny revealed to her that Mo Dong had brought her home. Song-ae immediately checked the dashcam footage and also overheard a segment, Song-ae's conversation with Jin Kang. Last night, Song-ae heard Mo Dong constantly flirting with Jin Kang, and she was heartbroken and burst into tears. She immediately went to find Jin Kang, but she didn't expect him to betray her. Jin Kang tried to explain that it was all a misunderstanding, but Song-ae didn't believe him. She showed Jin Kang Mo Dong's messages, in which he admitted to liking Jin Kang, but felt their friendship could end here. Jin Kang didn't want to lose this friendship, so she arranged to meet Mo Dong and wanted him to explain to Song-ae that the messages were just empty words. When Dong heard her mention Song-ae, he immediately stood up and left. He didn't want her to look for him because others might see Jin Kang still following him. He even invited her to eat cake with him. After all, it was his birthday today. Jin Kang didn't care about his invitation. She only wanted him to explain clearly to Song A, but Dong refused. After all, everything he said was true. Jin Kang was extremely angry. Now she knew why he was pitiful. He was a heartless person, so he toyed with everything and easily destroyed it when he lost interest. Dong looked at her and smirked. He had seen through Jin Kang and knew the real reason for her anger. She truly had feelings for him and couldn't accept it. Seeing Jin Kang still trying to avoid him, Dong approached and asked if she ever remembered him, if she ever felt happy seeing him. Jin Kang answered definitively no to Dong's question. Dong just chuckled faintly. He felt that compared to someone heartless, someone who always pretends to deny it was even worse. Jin Kang was the truly pitiful one. Mo Dong's words made Jin Kang think for a long time, and finally she decided to return to find him. But upon arriving, she saw Mo Dong being attacked by a gang of thugs. Jin Kang quickly called the police. She didn't want to take any risks. She wanted to wait for the police to arrive, but when she saw the thug raise a stick, Jin Kang forgot her fear and rushed in to shield him. Seeing someone arrive, the thugs threw down their sticks and let Mo Dong go. After the thugs left, Jin Kang quickly checked on Mo Dong's condition. Seeing that Mo Dong had fainted, Jin Kang anxiously took him to the hospital. Seeing Mo Dong covered in injuries, she couldn't hide her worry. When Mo Dong woke up, he saw Jin Kang dozing beside him. He gently wanted to take her hand, but at that moment, her phone rang. He immediately closed his eyes. Jin Kang woke up with a start and saw that it was Jin Cuc calling. She quickly answered. Jin Cuc was worried because she hadn't come home yet, so she called. Jin Kang lied, saying he needed to work overtime and would be staying at the company. She told him not to worry about her, but when she returned, she found that Mo Dong had left. Worried, she rushed to Mo Dong's house, wanting him to return to the hospital as the doctor had advised. But Mo Dong acted as if he was fine. She anxiously asked him who had sent those thugs and what he had done to deserve such a beating. She advised him to go to the police station to report everything and file a lawsuit, but Mo Dong felt it wasn't necessary. Jin Kang noticed that Mo Dong remained indifferent and unconcerned about his health. Despite her own decision, Jin Kang resolutely turned and walked away, but Mo Dong grabbed her hand. He wanted her to stay and eat cake with him. After a moment of hesitation, Jin Kang still decided to leave, and Mo Dong immediately showed a look of disappointment. The next day, Mo Dong dragged Jin Kang on a date, inviting her to ride a tandem bicycle and eat ice cream. He even made a list of things he wanted to do with Jin Kang, but during the date, Jin Kang remained absent-minded. Even when Mo Dong tried to hold her hand, Jin Kang immediately remembered Mo Dong. She quickly pushed him away. At first, Songa happily took Dong's hand. Although they had broken up, Songa still decided to sell the pottery factory after receiving 2 billion. She arranged to meet Dong and generously gave him 2 billion, only asking him to admit that he loved her for the money. Dong looked at the 2 billion in his hand and frankly admitted that he loved her for the money. Hearing this, Songa felt he had enough reason to end things with him. She would take this as a lesson for herself. But as they left, she noticed Dong's limping gait. She immediately turned back and pulled his hat down. Seeing the bruises on his face, she anxiously asked who had done it. Although Mo Dong didn't say, Songa knew the culprit was definitely Dion. Song A immediately sent a threatening message to Dion, warning him not to harm Mo Dong, otherwise she would risk her life against him. On the way back, she hoped to encounter Jin Kook drinking beer. Jin Kook inquired about his injuries, but Mo Dong didn't care. He pulled out 2 billion won and boasted to Jin Kook, asking what she would do with the 2 billion won. Seeing his sinister smile, Jin Kook reminded him not to do anything. Mo Dong said that seeing Jin Kook made him want to do something bad. Jin Kook reminded Mo Dong that there's no such thing as a free lunch and he couldn't hide it forever. Mo Dong still smirked, saying that he liked to have a sip of tea. Jin Kang didn't understand what Mo Dong was up to. Returning to the case of the female student, Jin Kang discovered that she was also left-handed, matching the characteristics of the killer. Moreover, she had psychological issues, so he tried to persuade Du and to wait a few days, hoping she would. After telling him what had happened, she could start over. After thinking it over carefully, Ji went to find Mo Dong and ask him why he treated her so well. Mo Dong replied that it was because she was beautiful. Seeing Mo Dong joking with her, Ji immediately became annoyed. She asked him if she could tell Jin Kook everything. Mo Dong realized Ji was serious, and he immediately wiped the smile from his face. The next day, Mo Dong went to the police station. He stood outside, peeking into Jin Cook's office until Jin Cook came and asked if he wanted to see him. Mo Dong said he only came to say hello and now he would leave immediately. Jin Cook didn't understand what Mo Dong meant by that. After leaving the police station, Mo Dong returned to the beer company. Although he was fired by Din, Mo Dong still found a way to get back there. He knew Din and her sister San were always at odds, so he deliberately gave her beer. Senna received the beer and immediately became interested in Mo Dong, so she invited him to work in her department. When Jun found out about Senna's actions, he was very angry but couldn't intervene. This morning, the company was holding an event. At a social gathering where Jin King happened to be on the guest list, from the moment Jin Kang saw Mo Dong, her eyes involuntarily focused on him. He was a major shareholder of Din's company and was invited to speak at the party. While everyone was praising him, Mo Dong acted provocatively. Midway through the party, Din approached Mo Dong. He hated his smug expression, and Mo Dong showed off the bruises on his face. He knew perfectly well who was behind this, even though he was beaten quite badly, but with 2 billion in hand, Mo Dong felt this investment wasn't a loss. Din scolded him, calling him trash, but Mo Dong didn't mind. He even thanked Din because, thanks to him, he could easily win over Song A. When he first heard about Song A, he had no intentions towards her, but when he met Din at the exhibition, he immediately knew that winning over Song A was as easy as pie. Just then, Song A called Mo Dong. It turned out that Mo Dong had returned the 2 billion to Song A, along with a message that he wanted to be by her side. Song A immediately moved, and agreeing to get back together, she called to ask for his address. Mo Dong answered the phone right in front of Din and replied gently. After hanging up, Mo Dong declared that he would continue dating Song A and warned Din to leave. Din refused to back down, looking towards Jin Kang with a sinister smile. After Din left, Jin Kang approached Mo Dong. She realized that on the day he was attacked, she had seen Din's assistant there, so she advised him to stay away from him. If he continued to confront him, she worried that he would be in trouble. Seeing Jin Kang worried about her, Dong felt happy. Din, annoyed, left the party. Just then, she ran into Song A. He immediately stopped her and scolded her, calling her foolish for being tricked out of money and love, yet still obediently running to him. He recounted what Dong had said, hoping Song A would come to her senses, but unexpectedly, Song A stubbornly believed Dong. Din tried to hold him back, but he warned her, "If you let go of me, I won't tolerate you anymore." However, Song A pushed Din's hand away and left with Dong. Seeing this, Din frantically drove after them. Along the way, after reminding her not to be caught, Dong immediately sped up. The heavy rain obstructed her vision as the car approached a turn. Suddenly, she saw a truck coming from the opposite direction and quickly swerved to avoid it, but unexpectedly, she was hit from behind by Dijuan's car. Both cars plunged down a nearby cliff. During the collision, Dong had a strange dream. In the dream, he was just a 4-year-old boy, and a strange man broke into his house and shouted, "Your father." Jin Kang was worried, so she went to Mo Dong's house but found no one home. She called him but couldn't reach him. When Jin Kang learned about the accident, she rushed to the hospital. Song A was seriously injured. Although he underwent successful surgery, he remained in a deep coma. Din had died in the accident, but strangely, there was no notification from Mo Dong. Even the news reported that Song A was in the same car as Din, but Jin Kang was certain that wasn't true. She had seen it with her own eyes last night. Seeing Mo Dong sitting in the car, Song A and Din frantically chased after her. Jin Cuc told Jin Kang to calm down and slowly tell him everything. Jin Kang began to recount everything from Mo Dong being attacked by thugs to the end of the party. She worried that something bad had happened to Mo Dong. After Mo Dong disappeared, Jin Kang still went to his house every day. Seeing the lonely little cat, she decided to take care of it for him. On her way to buy cat food, Jin Kang was caught by Jin Cuc. Seeing her carrying a bag of cat food, he immediately remembered. Jin Kang suggested reporting Mo Dong's disappearance to the police, but Jin Kuk stopped him, saying he would handle everything and that she should just stay home. However, at midnight, Jin Kuk didn't find Jin Kang at home. It turned out she had gone to Mo Dong's house to feed the kitten. Watching the kitten eat, Jin Kang couldn't hide his worry. When Jin Kang went to the hospital to visit Song A, he coincidentally saw Din's secretary. He quickly chased after him and asked about Mo Dong's condition. The secretary, seeing Jin Kang, pretended not to know him, and Jin Kang didn't know him either. Understanding what she was saying at the funeral of Auntie Anne, Sinan cried terribly, but after she entered the elevator, her expression immediately returned to its cold and indifferent state. Then she went to the hospital and saw the young man lying on the hospital bed. This young man was Mo Dong. At this time, Jin Kook had also contacted the traffic accident department because the head of the department was an old acquaintance of his, so he quickly learned about Mo Dong's condition. He heard that Mo Dong had fallen into a deep coma and it was unknown when he would wake up. Moreover, he also knew this could potentially be a murder motivated by love, because when Di-An's car collided with Song-a's car, he didn't brake at all but sped straight into Song-a with the intention of taking Song-a down with him. This is the reason why Di-An's family tried everything to silence the media. Meanwhile, Mo Dong kept dreaming about his father being shot dead. The dream became increasingly terrifying, causing Mo Dong to wake up in fear. After being discharged from the hospital, Mo Dong returned home, lay on the sofa, and thought about something. At that moment, a figure appeared outside. The kitten heard the noise at the door and quickly ran out. It turned out to be Jin Kang. She had come to feed the cat, even though she was extremely worried about Mo Dong. But seeing him appear beside her, she ran away. Mo Dong immediately held her back and gave her a kiss. He thought that after this accident, they had both clearly seen each other's feelings, but Jin Kang still coldly said that they shouldn't see each other again. That night, Jin Kang unexpectedly received news that Song-a had passed away. While attending Song-a's funeral, Jin Kang cried a lot. She cried because of grief and sorrow. Mo Dong also cried out of guilt towards Song-a, in contrast to Jin Kang's suffering. Mo Dong was extremely calm in the face of Song-a's nature. The next morning, Jin Kang came to find Mo Dong. He suspected Mo Dong had deliberately provoked Di-An, making him angry to the point of losing control, in order to take revenge for Di and hiring thugs to beat him. Jin Kang was extremely angry that Mo Dong had dragged an innocent girl into this matter. Mo Dong immediately denied it. Seeing this, Jin Kang changed his approach and asked, "If you knew the outcome beforehand, would you still do that?" Surprisingly, Mo Dong still smiled and answered. Perhaps it was Mo Dong's indifference to the lives of innocent people that angered Jin Kook. He scolded Mo Dong, saying he wasn't human, and that no matter who Mo Dong was, he wouldn't hold anything back anymore. Jin Kook's words surprised Mo Dong. What had Jin Kook been holding something back all this time? He wanted to know. Jin Kook didn't answer Mo Dong but immediately returned home. Upon arriving home, Jin Kook excitedly told Jin Kang that his death was because of Mo Dong. He begged her to keep her promise never to see Mo Dong again. After Jin Kook's persuasion, she finally, Juja, decided to go to the police station and tell them what had happened the night the female student was found dead. She didn't understand why she was in the girls' room. She saw her arguing with her boyfriend, and then she couldn't remember anything else, only that there was a lot of blood on the floor. To help Juja remember, Jin Kook led her to the scene, but as soon as they reached the door, Juja became frightened and ran away. Jin Kook chased after her, noticing that despite her panic, Juji unconsciously ran along the only path without cameras. Jin Kook wasn't going to give up easily, so he chased after her. Jin Kook went to find Juja to convince her. Juji was very agitated, repeatedly saying that she couldn't remember anything. Jin Kook mentioned that she could freely enter and exit the girl's house, proving she knew the password. When he deliberately mentioned the camera right in front of the girl's house, her reaction immediately changed. This proved she didn't know the camera was fake, coupled with Do's previous escape route. Jin Kook asserted that Juji was the culprit, and that Mo Dong was the one who cleaned up the crime scene and showed her the way to escape. The more Juja listened, the more agitated she became, continuously shouting. Jin Kook denied everything, waiting until Juji calmed down before revealing something. He had also made mistakes when he was her age. He had killed someone, but he had turned his life around. He believed Juji could do the same. While Jin Kook was trying to convince Juji, Dong had investigated on his own and discovered a video recording of Mo Dong near the crime scene. He immediately requested permission to arrest Mo Dong, who was with Jin Kang at the time. Jin Kang proactively came to find him. She heard Jin Kook say that Mo Dong was playing a game. Although she knew he would never, even if he were, he wouldn't care at all. Yet, throughout the time he was missing, she prayed for his safety, even though she didn't know he was slowly dying. Now she deeply regrets it. She hasn't even apologized to him. Seeing Jin's increasing suffering, Mo Dong said that he himself didn't know things would turn out this way. He wanted to comfort Jin, but she pushed his hand away. Jin returned home dejectedly, and Mo Dong silently followed her until he was. Mo Dong remained calm, only his eyes never leaving Jin Kang. After arresting Mo Dong, the police also found the key hidden in his house. During questioning, the police asked him where he got the key. Mo Dong calmly replied that he took it from the female student's house. Mo Dong even confessed to murdering the female student. Seeing that he didn't resist, the police thought they could finally sleep soundly, but at that moment, Jin Kang approached and said that Mo Dong had lied. The real culprit confessed, and an initial statement was taken. Jin Cuc then submitted a video recording of her and her boyfriend having sex while she was in America. This video accidentally fell into the hands of the other female student. Since obtaining it, the student has been constantly demanding money from Jin Cuc, threatening to Montusha in the video to humiliate Jin Cuc's parents if she doesn't comply. Jin Cuc had no choice but to obediently comply, but the amount of money kept increasing until Jin Cuc could no longer bear it and decided to take action against the other female student. But Juzi still couldn't recall the whole process, even when she heard the news of the girl's death. She still didn't know she was the culprit. Juzi's confession was the turning point in the case. Now, what they needed to do was get Mo Dong to tell the truth about what he knew. Jin and Cuc went to the interrogation room and asked Mo Dong, "Why did you confess? Did you do that to cover up for someone?" Mo Dong just smiled faintly. He said he didn't do it to cover up, but to quickly end this so he wouldn't have to think about it so much that he felt like he was going to explode. Jin Cuc asked what he had figured out, but Mo Dong shook his head dejectedly. He couldn't find an answer. What bothered Mo Dong was Jin Kang's emotions. Every time he faced her, he didn't know what to do. Jin Cuc continued to ask him about the details of the case. According to Mo Dong's account, he only heard the sound of the female student falling to the ground, but from the recorded evidence, Jin Cuc suspected that he had been at the scene before the female student fell. Hearing Jin Cuc's analysis, Mo Dong asked what time it was. 10 hours had passed since his arrest, and he had the right to refuse questioning. Jin Kuk angrily ordered him to sit down, but Mo Dong stubbornly refused. Meanwhile, outside, Jin Kang saw the news about the newly arrested culprit. Although his name wasn't publicly revealed, Jin Kang recognized Mo Dong at first glance. She didn't believe Mo Dong was the culprit and nervously called the police to inquire about the situation. When she heard the police say that Mo Dong wasn't the real culprit, Jin Kang immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Her heart, which had been hanging in suspense, finally relaxed. Confirming that Mo Dong and Juja's statements were not contradictory, the police continued to investigate their chat history to identify those they frequently contacted. Cho Dong was extremely surprised to see Jin Kang on the list. To avoid getting into trouble, Cho Dong intentionally removed Jin Kang's name from the list. Afterward, Cho Dong subtly met Mo Dong. Finally, using her sixth sense, Cho Dong remembered that Mo Dong was the one who had caused trouble outside Jin Kang's house. Cho Dong was certain that the two had feelings for each other. 116. 00:52:02 000 52:29 000. They were together, but the fact that Dong was with her only caused Jin Kang pain. Dong hoped he would know his place and stay away from Jin Kang. A person like him didn't deserve Jin Kang. Meanwhile, Jin Kang was happily celebrating a new project. During a conversation with her colleagues, her boss suddenly mentioned her ideal boyfriend type. Hearing this, her boss immediately gave them a list of requirements. A trustworthy boyfriend who is good at making money, has an ordinary appearance, and is just naive enough. Jin Kang then listed Dong's characteristics: handsome appearance, but no money and a complicated life. This is probably the worst kind of boyfriend. Hearing this, her boss advised Jin Kang, if you meet that kind of person, run away before it's too late. Jin Kang knew her boss's advice was right, but she couldn't control her heart. The next morning, while cycling, Jin Kang's mind was filled with images of Mo Dong, to the point that she unconsciously cycled to the police station. Jin Kang didn't expect to be there. She sighed dejectedly and quickly turned to leave. At that moment, she unexpectedly encountered. Although Jin Kang had agreed to date Jin Kang, they still spoke very formally to each other. Jin Kang apologized for not going out to eat with her last time and promised to make it up to her after everything was over. Jin Kang hesitated for a moment, then proactively suggested doing the most fun thing on her list of 100 things to do. Jin Kang excitedly suggested going to see the sea. Jin Kang happily agreed immediately. While pushing her cart home, she encountered Mo Dong in front of her house. Because Mo Dong was not the culprit, he had been released by the police. Jin Kang remained cold. Dong asked him what he wanted from her. She said he couldn't find his little cat and was afraid it had wandered off. Jin Kang coldly told him to go to the park to look, saying there were many stray cats there. Seeing that Jin Kang didn't even want to look at her, Dong asked if she was afraid of him. Jin Kang replied yes. Moreover, she couldn't understand him at all. Dong said she could ask him anything and he would tell her everything honestly, but Jin Kang wasn't interested in knowing, and besides, she didn't believe what he said. He entered the house, leaving Mo Dong alone and lonely. This was the first time Mo Dong had revealed such a distressed expression upon returning home. Mo Dong rushed to pick up the painting that the police had thrown on the floor. The painting depicted a happy family of 4. Mo Dong gently examined the painting. That night, Mo Dong dreamt again of the scene where his father was murdered. But this time, he also heard Jin Kang calling his name. Although Mo Dong had been released, Jin Kang did not give up the investigation. From the store employee's testimony, Jin Kang learned that Mo Dong had been sitting there for 20 minutes before the crime occurred. Coincidentally, from this vantage point, the balcony of the female student's house was clearly visible. Jin Kook also sat in the same spot, thoughtfully looking outside. After thinking for a while, he came to his conclusion. He thought Mo Dong was sitting there waiting for Juja to strike. Mo Dong knew Juji would lose control after taking the drug, but he still gave her the password to the victim's house. This was creating an opportunity for Juja to cause trouble. Jin Kook felt that Mo Dong was a demon, and his suspicion was completely correct after Mo Dong learned about Juja's death. He was blackmailed. He told Juja to invite her to a party at the beer bar. Waiting until the girl got drunk and caused a disturbance, Mo Dong immediately stepped in to protect her and seized the opportunity to flirt with her. His actions quickly captivated the girl. She even seduced him into going home with her. At this moment, Mo Dong realized the camera outside her house was fake and also learned her house password. After entering the house, the girl kept kissing Mo Dong, but he remained indifferent until he watched the video she used to blackmail Ju. Then, he stood up. After confessing, Ju left. Having completely come to her senses, Ju arranged to meet Jin Kang and apologized for intentionally hurting her. Juji admitted to being jealous when he saw Mo Dong treating her specially. Juja's words made Jin Kang waver. The next day, Jin Kang still went to see the sea with Cho Dong, but Jin Kang seemed absent-minded the whole way. Cho Dong realized she was thinking about Mo Dong again. Not wanting to make things difficult for her, Cho Dong proactively cancelled their sea viewing trip. He wanted to wait until she was in a better mood, but Jin Kang kept saying sorry, that she couldn't take advantage of Cho Dong. Dong added that she had wronged him greatly. Dong knew that her apology would also mean they would break up. Despite her heartbreak, Dong still advised Jin Kang to think clearly. She could choose not to choose him, but she absolutely could not choose Mo Dong. Mo Dong was a dangerous person. Being with him would cause Jin Kang much suffering. After breaking up, Jin Kang returned home sadly. She was surprised to find Jin Cuc waiting in her room. Jin Cuc already knew about Mo Dong and had been contacting her frequently. He scolded Jin Kang for not keeping her promise. Luckily, Dong quickly delete her name. Otherwise, she'd be under police investigation right now. He'd warned her many times to stay away from him. Mo Dong is a cold-blooded devil. If she doesn't come to her senses, sooner or later she'll suffer the same fate as Song A. This was the first time Jin Cuc had raised his voice at her. That night, Jin Cuc still couldn't bear it and went to Mo Dong's house. She couldn't stand everyone saying he was a bad person. Everyone around her wanted her to stay away from him, but she couldn't control her heart. She didn't want him to go down the wrong path. She wanted him to become a good person. Dong was moved by what she said. He wanted her to teach him how to be a good person. After this conversation, the two confirmed their feelings for each other and decided to move towards better things together. The next morning, Jin Cuc intentionally waited for Jin Cuc and took her to work. After a few meaningless words, Jin Cuc apologized to her for what happened yesterday. He admitted that he had been too harsh, and now she was grown up. He promised not to interfere in her affairs anymore, only hoping that she would think carefully. When Jin Cuc arrived at the police station, he happily instructed Dong to take care of her. It was good for Zin, but Dong said they had broken up. This made Zin sad. Dong saw a message from Sinan a few days ago. She had invited him to be the manager of her newly opened beer branch. Dong would have agreed, but thinking of Xin, he resolutely refused her. After work, Dong went to Jin Kang's company. Dong knew she didn't want to go public yet, so he arranged to meet her on the bus. Jin Kang read the message and refused her colleague's invitation to ride with her. She quickly ran to the bus stop. Although they were still standing far apart, both felt incredibly happy after getting on the bus. They finally got to sit close together. This was their first official date. They went to a simple, modest restaurant. She couldn't understand why she didn't like him working at the beer company. The job there earned him more money, so why didn't she like money? Jin Kang replied that of course she liked money, but she didn't want him around rich people and that other mocking guy. Besides, she also wanted him to, keeping her promise to answer all her curiosities. She had many questions she wanted to ask him, but she wouldn't ask them now. She wanted to spend some quality time with him after their date. Mo Dong took Jin Kang home, but she wanted to take a detour with him. She wasn't ready to tell Jin Cuc yet. Mo Dong understood her intention. He knew Jin Cuc cared deeply for his sister, and he also liked Jin Cuc very much. Every time she saw Jin Cuc, Mo Dong wanted to tease him. On the way home, Jin Kang was surprised to discover a newly opened flower shop. She excitedly pulled him along. Mo Dong went to see her smiling face, which filled him with immense happiness. Although Mo Dong wasn't the culprit, he still had to go to the police station for one last interrogation. Jin Kook couldn't contact him, so she went directly to his house to find him. Jin Kook reminded Mo Dong to be on time for the interrogation. Mo Dong nodded in agreement and continued going upstairs. At that moment, Jin Kook warned him not to associate with Jin Kang, not because he wasn't worthy, but because he was Mo Dong. Jin Kook hoped Mo Dong would remember. Jin Kang kept her promise. After Jin Kang finished work, she quickly went to Mo Dong's house. She knew where Mo Dong hid his house keys, so she could easily get in. She saw Mo Dong covered in sweat, his face full of fear. It seemed he had had a nightmare. Jin Kang worriedly woke him up. After Mo Dong woke up, he hugged Jin Kang tightly. The fear in his heart hadn't disappeared. After Mo Dong calmed down, Jin Kang asked him what he had dreamed about. He didn't hide anything and told Jin Kang everything. In his dream, he was a boy, about 4 years old, was playing with his younger brother in the forest. They were both very happy. After returning home, he found his father and saw a gun pointed at him. Before he could even call out to his father fell to the ground. Since the car accident, he has repeatedly replayed the dream, and the feeling of the dream becoming clearer and clearer. He feels that this is not just a dream, but a lost memory. In fact, Mo Dong doesn't remember anything that happened before he was 5 years old. All he remembers is the image of himself walking tirelessly. He kept walking without knowing where he was going, but he never stopped. He always felt someone was waiting for him, and he couldn't let them worry. Later, he was adopted by an old woman. After she passed away, he was taken to an orphanage and grew up there. Although he couldn't remember anything, he always kept an old painting. Then, Mo Dong took out the painting and showed it to her. This painting was the only clue about his family. Jin Kang was heartbroken to learn about his past. She took his hand and hugged him tightly to comfort him. After returning home, Jin Cuc fed her a piece of rice roll. He had prepared everything for this year's outing. Every year on November 1st, Jin Cuc would take her to the temple in Hashan, but this time Jin King told him that he had work at the company and couldn't go with him. Jin Cuc didn't suspect anything. He told Jin Kang to be careful at work and then set off alone. In fact, Jin Kang lied to Jin Cuc. She didn't go to the company at all but went on an outing with Mo Dong. Jin Kang felt a little guilty for lying to him, but she blamed Mo Dong for infecting her with bad habits. Dong wondered why they went to the temple every year. Jin Kang didn't know the reason either, but from childhood to adulthood, she had always eagerly awaited this day. Jin Kang couldn't bear to let Jin Cuc go alone, so he contacted the police hoping she could go with him. The weather in Hashan was incredibly beautiful. Jin Kang strolled around and chatted with Dong. The two visited the orphanage where Dong used to live. The nun immediately recognized Dong. During their conversation, the nun asked Dong about Jin Kang. Dong gently replied that she was the one he wanted to win over. The nun was very happy that he had found the person he loved. Suddenly, Dong asked the nun what a good person is and how to become one. The nun smiled and said that a good person is someone who has a lot of love. Dong heard this and knew she was joking. Dong was still curious about something. Before he came here, the police had come here looking for a child with a scar on their right hand. When the nun met him, she called the police station, but they said the child had already been found. Hearing this, Dong was very disappointed. But for some reason, she always felt like that child should be hers. After the conversation ended, Mo Dong went to find Jin Kang. Seeing her gazing intently at the lake, Mo Dong approached and hugged her. At that moment, Jin Kang revealed a secret. She wasn't Jin Kook's biological sister. This was the first time she had told this story, but strangely, she didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Instead, she felt relieved. She was very grateful to Jin Kook for adopting her. She wanted to say thank you, but didn't have the courage to face him. Mo Dong hugged Jin Kang again to comfort her. The two of them, sitting together, they watched the sunset. That night, after understanding each other, they didn't hesitate to share passionate kisses. Finally, they spent a night of intimacy. Meanwhile, Jin Kook confided in Officer Tak about his past mistakes. Officer Tak advised him to relax. After all, he had cared for and raised that woman's daughter. But things weren't that simple. Everyone thought the case from that year was a case of the suspect escaping and falling down the mountain. But the truth was, the suspect didn't run away. He stayed quietly in his house, but Jin Kook still shot him dead. That's why Jin Kook felt guilty. After telling everything, Jin Kook felt a little better. As they were preparing to return, Jin Kook unexpectedly received a call from an unknown number. The caller was Jin Kang's boss. Thanks to this call, Jin Kook learned that Jin Kang had lied. A bad feeling arose in his heart. Jin Kook called the police station to check on the situation and interrogated Mo Dong, but the interrogation had been postponed to the following afternoon, because Mo Dong had asked permission to go to San Jin. Jin Kang guessed that Jin Kang had followed Mo Dong back to San. The next morning, Jin Kang and Momo returned to San Jin. Jin Kang tried to be quiet so as not to wake Jin Kang, but he still woke up. Seeing Jin Kang still wanting to continue lying, Jin Kang bluntly said that he already knew the truth. He didn't expect her to ignore his words and continue dating Mo Dong. Jin Kang didn't understand why he hated Mo Dong so much. Jin Kang didn't care whether Jin Kang understood or not. He was determined that she would break up with Mo Dong. Unable to agree with him, she stood up wanting to leave, but Jin Cuc held her back. He begged Jin Cuc to break up with Mo Dong. Seeing that she still refused, Jin Cuc raised his voice, scolding Jin Cuc, saying he had raised her, and now she was disobeying him. Jin Cuc pleaded with Cuc, "Please stop. I know you work hard to raise me, and I always felt guilty towards you, but I can't bear it anymore. I hope Jin Cuc will never appear before me again." Jin Cuc was surprised that she said such cruel words. Their argument ended like that. Because of Jin Kang's conflict, Jin Cuc was depressed all day, even skipping meals. Officer Tak came to see Jin Kang. She knew that words spoken in anger weren't sincere, but they still hurt Jin Cuc deeply. Jin Kang also knew she was wrong, but she didn't understand why Jin Cuc hated Mo Dong so much. She asked Officer Tak if she knew the reason. Officer Tak didn't know the exact reason either, but she advised Jin Kang to break up with Mo Dong. Mo Dong really wasn't suitable for her after meeting Kang. Jin Kang went to Mo Dong's house to wait for him. Although she had the key, she didn't dare go in alone. While she lay there thinking random thoughts, Mo Dong returned. Seeing Jin Kang waiting for him, Mo Dong was very happy. He even prepared dinner for her. Jin Kang didn't like the current situation at all. She wished time could pass quickly so that Jin Kang could accept Mo Dong, but Mo Dong didn't think so. He hated complicated things. Jin Kang was Jin Kang, and her brother was just her brother. Their being together didn't require anyone's permission. Unlike before, he no longer wanted to win Jin Cuc's favor. Seeing that he treated Jin Cuc as someone unrelated, Jin Kang was a little unhappy. He knew exactly what Jin Cuc meant to her, yet he said such things. Jin Kang angrily left, but Mo Dong didn't stop her. He just silently ate his noodles for a while before Mo Dong hurriedly chased after her, but he searched everywhere and couldn't find her anywhere. Mo Dong returned home dejectedly, only to find Jin Kang waiting for him at the door. Mo Dong rushed to hug her. Seeing Mo Dong drenched in sweat, Jin Kang temporarily forgave him. The next morning, Jin Kang woke up early to buy breakfast for Jin Kook. While eating breakfast, Jin Kang asked him to give her more time. She believed that Mo Dong would change and make Jin Kook happy. Seeing his sister say this, Jin Kook didn't reply but coldly stood up and left. Jin Kook confided in the police officer that he feared the sibling relationship between him and Jin Kang couldn't continue. The girl was incredibly stubborn. The police officer asked him if Jin Kang already knew that she wasn't his biological sister. Jin Kook remembered that Juji had once said that Jin Kang was an orphan. He thought Juji knew something. He then went to visit Juji, but Juji had only overheard Jin Kang and Mo Dong talking, so she didn't know much. Juji asked him if they were dating. Jin Kang immediately said that he would oppose it to the end. Juzi warned Jin Kang that Mo Dong had a special charm with women, so even if Jin Kang objected, it would be useless unless he actively kicked Jin Kang out of prison. Jin Kang was surprised to see Dr. Jiang. It turned out he had also come to visit Juji, but today's visiting hours were over, so he could only come. The next day, during a conversation, Jin Cuc casually mentioned Mo Dong. Hearing this, Dr. Jiang asked about his age. It seemed Mo Dong was someone he knew. Jin Cuc wanted to ask more, but Dr. Jiang said he had other things to do and quickly left. After returning home, he began reviewing the details of the female student's case. Seeing Mo Dong's image, he was certain that he was the child he had known. The following day, Dr. Jiang proactively sought out Jin Cuc. Jin Cuc had mentioned before that he had read Dr. Jiang's book, but only about the character Ju. In Chapter 2 of the book, Mr. Jiang reveals that the main character is Mo Dong. Since meeting Mo Dong, Mr. Jiang decided to major in child psychology, and Mo Dong was his first patient. To him, Mo Dong is a very special child. If Mo Dong cannot live well now, Mr. Jiang feels partly responsible. This proves that his previous choice was a mistake. While Jin Kook is agonizing over this, Jin Kang is happily spending time with Mo Dong. Dong felt too lonely, so she suggested buying some necessary items. After shopping, they both redecorated the house. Jin King even put a picture of her and her brother inside a stuffed bear. She hoped that if Dong looked at this picture often, she would feel closer to her brother. After arranging the house, Dong went online to learn cooking recipes. He wanted to prepare a small party as a housewarming celebration. While Dong was at the supermarket, Jin Kang caught him. He remembered Jin Kang had just announced he was working overtime and would be home late. He was sure this time, Jin Kang lied again after work. Jin Kang happily went to Mo Dong's house. She was surprised by his cooking skills and wanted to help, but he told her to just sit and play. Jin Kang couldn't find the photo in the teddy bear. She asked him where he'd put it. "Did you hate my brother so much that you threw it away?" Mo Dong, seeing her acting spoiled, took out his wallet and showed her. The photo was carefully placed inside his wallet. But there was one thing in the photo that piqued his curiosity: the background. He always felt a strange connection to this hospital. It felt so familiar, like I'd lived here before. Seeing the food cooked on the stove, Mo Dong quickly carried it to the dining table. Jin Kang excitedly took out her phone to photograph the first meal cooked by her boyfriend. Then she pulled him closer and took a picture as they prepared to open a beer to celebrate. Mo realized he'd forgotten to buy a bottle opener, so he stood up to buy one. After buying it, Mo Dong saw Jin Kook standing opposite her. Seeing that Jin Kook seemed angry, Mo Dong remained calm and smiled at him. The traffic light turned green, and the two slowly walked towards him. At the moment they passed each other, a look of pain suddenly appeared on Mo Dong's face. He had only taken 3 more steps when he couldn't bear it anymore and collapsed onto Mo Dong's stomach, which was bleeding profusely. Mo Dong never expected Jin Kook to be so cruel. He tried to stand up and staggered away. Jin Kang waited and waited, but Mo Dong didn't return. Worried, she called him, but Mo Dong didn't have his phone with him. Anxious, she ran to look for him. The supermarket employee said he had finished shopping and left almost an hour ago. Kang was worried, so she went to report it to the police. They told her to calm down and wait for news about Jin Kang returning home, but because she was worried about him, she couldn't sleep. Meanwhile, Mo Dong had gone to Mr. Jiang's house. Mr. Jiang was surprised to see him bleeding so much. He wanted to call an ambulance, but Jin Kang stopped him. Mr. Jiang could only take him inside and help him treat his wounds after the attack. After attacking Mo Dong, Jin Kang went to the police station to submit his resignation and confess to what happened. Last night, hearing about his attack, everyone was shocked, but they didn't accept it. It was reported that no one had filed a complaint regarding Mo Dong's case, so Jin Cuc was not convicted. The police were surprised by his actions. Jin Si-yu said that he had no other choice. Jin King still couldn't contact Mu-dong. Sensing that something had happened to him, she anxiously called the police to inquire about any cases related to him. The police officer didn't dare tell the truth, saying he would report back if there was any new information. Jin Kang took the day off work and went to Mu-dong's house hoping he had returned. But the room was still empty when a strange number called. Jin Kang Tran answered, and when she heard Mu-dong's voice, she immediately burst into tears. Mu-dong lied to Jin Kang, saying he was at a friend's house. They hadn't seen each other for a long time, so he couldn't come back right away. Jin Kang knew he was lying. She wanted to know what had happened, but Mu-dong refused to say. He only said he wasn't hurt and hoped she wouldn't worry too much. Jin Kang knew he wouldn't tell the truth, and she told him that if he continued like this, she would feel very tired, she said, then immediately hung up. Seeing Jin Kang hang up, Mu-dong immediately wanted to return, but Mr. Jiang stopped him. His wounds hadn't healed yet, and if he acted recklessly, Mr. Jiang would have to call the police. He asked him if the cause of his injuries was related to Juja's case. Mr. Jiang asked if he knew a police officer named Jin Kuk. Mu-dong replied that they were only casually acquainted, neither friends nor enemies. At this point, Jin Kuk frankly admitted to Jin Kang about his situation. Jin Kang was shocked that his brother would attack Mu-dong. Jin Si-yu even threatened Jin Kang, saying that if he met Mu-dong again, he would do even worse things. Jin King felt he had gone mad. Mu-dong was just a poor child, and his childhood was even more unfortunate than hers. She begged Jin Si-yu not to treat him like that, but he had no intention of giving in. After saying that, he coldly left. The police arranged to meet Jin Si-yu outside the bar. She had read Dr. Jiang's book, and the main character in Chapter 2 was, being a boy with amnesia like that means Mu-dong has forgotten everything from his childhood. If Jin Kang always suspected that Mu-dong was the child he was looking for, he had two choices. One was to confront Mu-dong and confirm whether he was the person he was looking for, and the other was to choose to forget everything and let things return to normal, instead of acting crazy like he is now. After learning that Mu-dong was injured, Jin Kang decided to call the unknown number again. She wanted to know Mu-dong's current condition. Dr. Jiang said that the injury was not too serious. It's important, so please rest assured, he said. The next morning, Mu-dong had another dream, but this time a doctor in a hospital uniform appeared. After waking up, he asked Mr. Zhang to find out the identity of the doctor in his dream. Mr. Zhang agreed to contact his old classmates to help him investigate. Meanwhile, Mu-dong was sitting in the sun, staring at a picture of Jin Kang and thinking absent-mindedly. Seeing this, Dr. Zhang came over and covered him with a blanket. When Mu-dong turned around, he realized that the image of Dr. Zhang at that moment was completely identical, matching the image of that dream doctor. Dr. Zhang didn't deny it. In fact, the first time he met him wasn't at the fish pond, but 3 years earlier, when he was being treated for burn scars. Dr. Zhang was the doctor who treated him then. He wanted to leave the hospital, and Dr. Zhang wanted to stop him, but when he saw the emptiness in his eyes, Dr. Zhang thought he should let him go. Perhaps this was his last chance to escape the past and gain freedom. According to Dr. Zhang's account, Dong felt that perhaps he knows his past well, and now he wants to know about that terrible past, but Dr. Zhang refuses to reveal it. He feels that he doesn't need to know about it. While Mu-dong is away, Jin King still comes to his house. She cleans everything neatly and leaves an apology note for Mu-dong. Then she returns home and promises Jin Cook that she will not see Mu-dong again. A few days later, Mu-dong returns home. He reads Jin Kang's apology note. She hopes he will forgive his brother and understand his feelings. Heartbroken by her condition, he went to Jin Kang's house. Seeing Mu-dong, Jin Kang couldn't hold back his tears. He had clearly promised to keep her, yet when this happened, he said nothing to her. Seeing Jin Kang's tears, Mu-dong was heartbroken and kissed him on the lips. Then they returned home together. Jin King told him that she had promised her father she wouldn't see him again, so from now on they could only meet secretly. Mu-dong would temporarily quit her job. He wanted to start investigating his past, but Dr. Jiang warned him against it. Understanding his fear, Jin Kang hugged Mu-dong and comforted him, telling him to just follow his heart and that no matter what happened, she would face it with him. She reminded him to always carry his phone and not to get hurt again. The next day, Mu-dong went to see Dr. Jiang. He told him about the dreams he often had and that he was ready to learn about his past, but unexpectedly, Dr. Jiang said that his father wasn't paralyzed but had logged out on his own. He had fallen down Mount Gum. Of course. This was the police's conclusion at the time, and Mr. Zhang didn't know the truth either. He also revealed that his real name was Kang Shan. When Jin Kang learned his real name, she felt it was a very beautiful name to celebrate the day he found his true name. Jin Kang went out with him and took commemorative photos on the Love Bridge. She really liked his real name. To her, his given name, Mo Dong, was too kind. She felt his parents must be good people because they gave him a name that reflected goodness. That night, Mo Dong revealed to Jin Kang about his father had logged out. Although he hadn't found out the truth yet, he sensed that his family wasn't very happy. Jin Kang was heartbroken to hear that news. She hugged Mo Dong tightly. Mo Dong decided to go to Hezan to visit his father. Jin Kang asked if he wanted her to go with him, but Mo Dong refused, saying he would go alone. Before they said goodbye, Jin Kang suddenly felt uneasy, a feeling that something bad was about to happen. When Mo Dong arrived in Hezan, he asked the locals for directions to the cliff. After pouring wine as an offering to his father, Mo Dong, lying down on a nearby rock, several familiar images suddenly flashed through his mind. Mo Dong immediately followed those images and found an old house. This house was exactly like the house in his dream. Mo Dong, curious, went inside. He found a toy carrot on the ground, exactly like the one in his dream. Mo Dong realized this was the house he had lived in before losing his memory. Looking at the familiar objects, memories of the day his father was shot flooded back once again. This time, Mo Dong clearly saw the face of the person holding the gun. It was Zin. Dong, terrified, sat down on the ground after finding the answer. Dong took his toy robot and returned home. Seeing Jin Kang's message, he remembered the picture in his wallet. Dong immediately took out the picture and tore off half of it, leaving only Jin Kang. At that moment, Jin Kang received a call from Dr. Jiang, who said that Dong had remembered his father because of a gun. Jin Kang thought that perhaps Dong was gradually remembering the truth. He remembered Dong saying he liked eating pieces of meat. Jin Kang believed that Dong would soon come to find him, and he was ready. The next day, Jin Kang rode his bicycle like a flash to Mo Dong's place. She was eager to know about his trip to Hezan, but Mo Dong only said that he had visited his father, completely concealing the fact that he had discovered the old house and his connection with Zin Cook. Mo Dong then inquired about the police's work schedule to find out when Zin Cook would be home. The following day, while Zin Cook and Jin Kang were at work, Mo Dong sneaked into their house. Thanks to her good memory, Mo Dong easily remembered the house's password. After entering, Mo Dong went straight to Zin Cook's room and began searching. Everything he wanted to find, more clues about his father's whereabouts, was discovered during his search for Mo Dong. He accidentally saw a missing child notice that Zin Cuc had kept, and the child being searched for turned out to be him. Suddenly, Zin Cuc remembered the pot of porridge he'd forgotten to turn off the stove. He quickly turned his car around and rushed home. Upon entering the house, Zin Cuc hurried into the kitchen, but the stove was off and the burnt porridge had been put in the sink. Remembering Mo Dong from earlier, he was certain Mo Dong had sneaked into his house. Zin Cuc quickly went to his room to check. Everything had been arranged. Mo Dong was neatly dressed, only the missing child note had disappeared. After returning home, he fell into deep thought. After much deliberation, he decided to go find San. He wanted her to find him a gun. San was surprised that Mo Dong needed a weapon. She found him increasingly interesting, but also felt this was a bit difficult, and she wouldn't gain anything from it. Mo Dong, hearing this, promised to help her no matter what. Afterwards, Mo Dong asked San to investigate the missing child note. He wanted to know who had gone looking for the child and who the child's parents were. That night, Jin Kang arrived at Mo Dong's house. Seeing the old robot on the table, she cleaned it and replaced the battery. When Mo Dong returned, he saw the house lit up and knew Jin Kang had arrived. Looking at the moving robot on the table, he fell into deep thought. Jin Kang asked him where he got the robot, and Mo Dong lied, saying Min found it. Knowing he was troubled, Jin Kang wanted to share his feelings, but he only looked at her and said that no matter what, she was just her to him. Jin Kang didn't understand his words, but she still hugged him. The next day, Mo Dong went to San's house. She threw him a gun and asked if he really intended to kill someone. She said that if he killed someone, she would also be in trouble, but she still wanted to take the risk for him. That's because she wanted to have Mo Dong. She was very happy that in this world she could find someone like herself, both intelligent and dangerous. In addition, San had also investigated the missing child notice. The person searching for the child was Jin Cook. Mo Dong received the results and said that the child in his womb was him, and he asked San to continue investigating the parents. And then, through text messages with Jin Kang, he learned that she would be working overtime tonight. He decided to act tonight. When Jin Cuc drove home, he saw a pair of unfamiliar shoes at the door and knew Mo Dong had arrived. At that moment, Mo Dong slowly appeared and pointed a gun at Jin Cuc. Jin Cuc wanted to go outside to settle it. He didn't want blood in the house. But Mo Dong, in a fit of anger, shot at a potted plant nearby. At this point, Jin Cuc could no longer hide it. He admitted that he had shot Kang Sungu. Only now did Mo Dong learn his father's name was Kang Sungu. Dong wanted to know the reason, but Jin only said it was a misunderstanding. Dong wanted to know the real reason, but Jin didn't say anything more. Dong angrily criticized Jin, accusing him of destroying his family. Jin didn't try to hide, but he hoped Dong wouldn't let Jin Kang see this. Dong didn't care. He unlocked the safety and pointed the gun at Jin's head. Just as Dong was about to act, a knock on the door interrupted him. It was police officer TAC, worried, who had come to visit Jin. Seeing someone, Dong gave up on dealing with Jin. Officer TAC entered the house and immediately smelled something. Sensing the smell of gunpowder, she quickly realized that Mo Dong had ill intentions towards Zin. Seeing Zin's indifferent expression, Mo Dong became frantic with worry. After returning home, Mo Dong received a message from Senna. She sent him an old newspaper article. According to the information in the article, 25 years ago, a couple was involved in a cult. That couple also bewitched his mother. Mo Dong's mother was quickly influenced and wanted to drag him into it. His father, enraged, immediately attacked them when he found them, killing his wife and the couple after reading the whole thing. The article shocked Mo Dong. He never expected his father to be the murderer. It turned out that the image of a happy family he had previously seen was just his imagination. Mo Dong angrily crumpled up the family picture. In his pain, he ran straight to Mr. Zhang's house. Mo Dong thought Mr. Zhang knew he was the son of a murderer, which is why he let him leave the hospital alone. But Mr. Zhang had no such intention. His father was also a murderer, so he understood Mo Dong's feelings. He let him leave hoping he would forget the past and start a new life. He hoped Mo Dong would. Dong, understand one thing. Your father's past sins don't represent who you are. Don't let yourself be hurt by things that don't concern you. When Dong returned home, Jin Kang was already there. She realized something had happened to him. When she arrived, she saw the picture he always cherished had been crumpled. Seeing Jin Kang take the picture out, he immediately threw it in the trash. He said that the happy family was fake, just a stupid story he imagined in his anger. Dong dropped the packet of instant noodles on the ground. Jin Kang quickly picking up the packet of instant noodles. Mo Dong then told her about his father being a murderer. Jin Kang was stunned to learn this. She didn't know how to comfort him, but Mo Dong subtly dismissed her, saying he wanted to be alone. Before leaving, Jin Kang picked up the painting and looked at the happy family of four in it. She couldn't control herself and burst into tears. That night, San met Mo Dong again. This time, she had gathered information from another police officer, the same officer who had handled his father's case. Before leaving, Mo Dong gave him a recording and offered to help him deal with Jin Kiku, but Mo Dong didn't allow it. He didn't like others interfering with his goals. Upon arriving home, Mo Dong immediately played the recording. Through its contents, he learned his mother's name. Regarding the case from that year, after receiving the report, Jin Kiku was the first to arrive at the scene. Seeing his father appear with a blood-stained axe, Jin Kiku fired his gun in self-defense. After listening to the recording, Mo Dong went to find Jin. Kim Cook texted Mo Dong to meet him outside to talk. Mo Dong asked Kim Cook why he had searched for him that year. If his father had committed a crime, he would have been executed sooner or later, and Kim Cook was acting in self-defense. Kim Cook didn't expect Mo Dong to know everything. This time, he decided to tell Mo Dong a different truth. 25 years ago, after Kim Cook fired the gun, he only then realized Mo Dong was there. At that moment, Kim Cook realized that Mo Dong's father had seen his son and wanted to hide the axe behind his back, not intending to attack. Therefore, Jin Cook always felt guilty after knowing everything. Mo Dong didn't know what to do either. He decided not to take revenge on Jin Cook anymore, but he wouldn't forgive Jin Cook. As soon as Mo Dong left, Jin Cook told him about the place where their ashes were kept, a temple on Mount Hazan, and the anniversary of their death was November 1st. The next day, Mo Dong went to the temple that Jin Cook had mentioned. When he saw the names of his father and mother, Mo Dong couldn't hold back his tears. When he returned, Mo Dong saw Jin Cook waiting for him. He asked her, "You really don't hate me?" Jin Kang immediately ran to him and hugged him. That night, they spent happy moments together. She even taught Mo Dong how to cook rice. Mo Dong, for some reason, cooked rice. Jin Kang explained that she wanted him to live in a warm house, and a warm house must have the smell of hot rice. While they were eating, Jin Kang suddenly remembered the first time she came to his house. Everything was cold, not even a cup was there. But now, everything was filled with warmth. She longed for that warmth. This pressure might keep him from leaving her the next day. Dong returned the gun to San. He no longer needed it. San was quite surprised by this. She also informed him of what she had investigated. She had investigated his younger brother, but the brother didn't exist. San even emphasized the words younger brother. Dong was eager to hear more, but San didn't want to reveal any more. Dong could only give up and return to the amusement park to meet Jin Kang. There, they played many games together. Every moment spent with Jin Kang made Dong happy. Temporarily forgetting all their worries that evening, the two stood in front of the mirror, looking at the burned scars on each other's hands. Jin Kang felt as if this scar was a destiny that had bound them together. Just then, Jin Kang accidentally burned herself with boiling water. Mo Dong, worried, pulled her hand to the cold water tap. Then he quickly went to buy medicine for her. On the way back, a memory suddenly flooded back. After his father was shot, his younger brother had appeared beside him. The image of that child became clearer and clearer. Mo Dong immediately took out his wallet and looked at a picture of Jin Kang as a child. He was shocked to discover that the child in his memories was Jin Kang as a child. Thinking about San's cryptic words, a thought flashed through Mo Dong's mind, filling him with fear. Perhaps Jin Kang was his sister. To confirm it once more, Mo Dong went to find San and asked her about the secret she hadn't revealed. Seeing his shocked expression, San knew he had realized it himself. The truth was, Jin Kang was his biological sister. After learning the truth, Mo Dong was devastated. Thinking about the beautiful moments he shared with Jin Kang, his heart ached even more. She couldn't continue being with Jin Kang anymore. After returning home, he took the house keys back from her and coldly said goodbye. Jin Kang couldn't believe he really wanted to break up. Just 4 hours ago they were happily hugging each other. She wanted to know what had happened, but Mo Dong didn't answer. He only showed his usual cold expression and reminded Jin Kang to remember Song A. To him, she or Song A were the same. Just as Mo Dong wished, Jin Kang was truly angry. She never expected him to be like this. After Jin Kang angrily left, Mo Dong immediately became depressed. He packed up all the items related to her and neatly put them in a box. The next morning, Dong realized he had left behind a photo of them together. He immediately took it to the box and put it in, but after a moment of thought, he put the photo in his jacket pocket. As soon as Dong left the door, he saw Jin Kang waiting for him. He coldly walked past her. Jin Kang begged him to tell her the truth, but Dong showed no mercy. He ignored her, turned around, and left. Dong went to San's place and he began to take on the project she had previously proposed. He wanted to devote all his energy to work so he wouldn't have time to think about Jin Kang. Seeing Mo Dong like this, Sen Nan was very satisfied. Finally, she had found the master key to control Mo Dong. When Mo Dong returned home, she still found Jin Kang waiting for her. She even clung to his hand, begging him to reconsider. Mo Dong coldly pushed her hand away. Jin Kang didn't give up. She continuously knocked on the door and called his name. Her crying made Mo Dong extremely heartbroken, but he couldn't soften his heart. This was the only way. To protect Jin Kang, Mo Dong called Jin Kuk and asked her to pick up her sister. Jin Kuk received the call and quickly went to pick her up. Seeing Jin Kang so distraught, Jin Kuk was heartbroken and carried her home. As soon as Jin Kang left, Mo Dong hid inside the house and sobbed uncontrollably. Mo Dong had no idea that she had been deceived by S. Nan. In fact, S. Nan had fabricated the information and made up this story. She did this to easily control Mo Dong, and it worked exactly as she wanted. Now she is sharing her joy with her secretary to reward her. Mo Dong's obedient nature led him to receive a luxury car as a gift. Mo Dong readily accepted the gift, even though he devoted all his energy to work. He couldn't stop thinking about Jin Kang, and every day he would drive to her company to gaze at her from afar. Seeing Jin Kang made him even more anxious. His feelings weren't much better either. After breaking up with Jin Kang, he sought out Dr. Zhang, wanting to confide in him. She couldn't clearly see what kind of person Mo Dong was. Dr. Zhang didn't fully understand him either, but he believed that Mo Dong was a kind of person, intelligent and emotional. He could easily see through everything in the world, yet he always hated this world until he met Jin Kang. He had also heard from the nun at the orphanage that Jin Kang was the one he wanted to win over. It could be said that Mo Dong had placed her heart in Jin Kang, beginning to love this world. The doctor's words ignited hope in Jin Kang's heart. She wanted to meet Mo Dong, so she went to his workplace. While searching for Mo Dong, she was spotted by Sinan, who enthusiastically invited her inside. He even wanted to offer her a drink, but Jin Kang only wanted to know when Mo Dong would arrive. San told her that if she was curious about anything, she could ask her. San claimed to know quite a bit about the relationship between the two of them, and if Jin Kang was hesitant to ask her, she could go home and ask Jin Kook about what happened 25 years ago. Just then, Mo Dong appeared. He didn't want ex-Nan to continue, so he interrupted her. He asked Jin Kang what she wanted to talk to him about. Jin Kang wanted to talk to him privately, but Mo Dong refused. He told her to say whatever she wanted to say here.
Mo Dong's attitude.
Disappointed, Jin Kang called her an idiot and angrily stormed off. Thinking about what Zenon had said, Jin Kang decided to meet with the police. She wanted to know about what had happened between Mo Dong and her brother. Seeing that the police were still trying to hide the truth, Jin Kang said that she knew she wasn't Zin's biological sister. She had known this since middle school. Unable to hide it any longer, the police officer told her everything he knew, that it wasn't Jin Kook, hoping he would only feel guilty. Because 25 years ago, Mo Dong's father was a hardened criminal. Jin Cuc shot and killed Mo Dong's father. Jin Kang was shocked to learn the truth. At the same time, Mo Dong and Sinan went to her house. He wanted to know what she had said to Jin Kang. San used a provocative tone to recount what she had said. Seeing Mo Dong truly angry, San seemed even more amused. Mo Dong knew what kind of person San was. He regretted working for her. He returned the car keys to Sinan and begged her not to touch Jin Cuc again, but Sinan was not easily appeased. She threatened that if Mo Dong left, she would immediately call Jin Kang and tell him. Seeing that the two were siblings, Mo Dong obediently turned back. San, enraged, picked up a phone and began mocking their relationship, even speculating about whether they had slept together. San's words became increasingly outrageous, causing Mo Dong to lose control of his anger. He coldly took a gun from the drawer and decisively sent her to her death. After making sure San was dead, Mo Dong coldly left. That night, news of San being shot at home quickly spread through the news from Cannes. Police surveillance confirmed the incident. The real culprit is Mo Dong. Seeing the news, Jin Kang was very agitated. She couldn't believe Mo Dong would kill someone. She wanted to go find him, but Jin Kook stopped her. Jin Kang, agitated, shouted loudly, insisting that Mo Dong was not the murderer. After calming Jin Kang down, Jin Kook quickly went to find Mo Dong. Surprisingly, Mo Dong called him. Mo Dong was hiding in a temple on the mountain and wanted to meet Jin Kook. After hearing the call, Jin Kook immediately rushed there. After the two sat down to talk, Mo Dong thanked him. Jin Cuc, having adopted and cared for his younger sister, was stunned to hear this. Why was Jin Kang now Mo Dong's younger sister? Jin Cuc didn't know who spread the false rumor, but Jin Kang wasn't Mo Dong's sister. Mo Dong's parents only had one child, Mo Dong. At this moment, Mo Dong realized he had been deceived by Sen Nan. Knowing the truth, Mo Dong was both heartbroken and happy. After calming down, Mo Dong felt strange. If Jin Kang wasn't his sister, then why did she appear in his childhood memories? Jin Cuc explained that 25 years ago, the two families were close friends, so when Mo Dong was little, Jin Kang was even closer to him than his own family. This continued until Jin Kang's parents became obsessed with the cult. They even dragged Mo Dong's mother into it. Out of anger, Mo Dong's father forced his wife and Jin Kang's parents to leave the cult. Jin Kang also revealed the reason for their burns. Jin Kang accidentally boiled some water, and Mo Dong quickly rushed to shield her. That's why Mo Dong's scar is larger than Jin Kang's. After learning everything, Mo Dong wanted to. Zin Cuc continues to hide Jin Kang's identity so she can continue living as she is. Zin Cuc advises Mo Dong to turn herself in. That's the only way for Mo Dong to change her ways. Mo Dong says he needs time to think. Give him 3 more days, and he will turn himself in. After Zin Cuc returns, the police tell him that Jin King knows she's not his biological sister and has revealed the feud between him and Mo Dong. After careful consideration, Zin Cuc decides to tell Jin Kang her real name. He apologizes for not telling her. He arrived earlier than promised that after finding Mo Dong, he would tell her the whole truth. Meanwhile, Mo Dong had returned to her old house in the forest. After a quick cleanup, she lit a candle and sat listlessly by the window, preparing to write her last will and testament. The next day, on her way to buy food, Mo Dong stood in front of the phone for a long time. She really wanted to call Jin Kang, but after some hesitation, she decided not to contact her. She returned to her old house and cooked a meal for herself. Simply because Jin Kang had once said that a warm home was a place of comfort. There must be the smell of hot rice. That night, Mo Dong looked up at the sky, his mind still filled with the image of Jin Kang. In his imagination, it seemed as if Jin Kang was always by his side. They gazed at the sky together. Since falling in love with Jin Kang, Mo Dong realized that there are many beautiful things in this world. Jin Kang, heartbroken, wiped away his tears. They held hands tightly and promised to be together forever. Jin Kang was always worried about Mo Dong. Remembering what he told him after visiting his father, Jin Kang decided to search for the location of that mountain. After a night of searching, finally, Jin Kang found the old house. She also read an article about the old case. It turned out her parents had been expelled by Mo Dong. After learning everything, Jin Kang immediately set off to find Isan. When Jin Cuc returned home, she couldn't find Jin Kang. He looked at her search history and knew where Jin Kang had gone. Just then, a strange phone call came in. It turned out to be He-run, an acquaintance of Mo Dong. Mo Dong had asked He-run to tell Jin Cuc that he didn't believe what she said was unjust. Truly, people live without conscience. Tim will be no different from the demon he was before. Dong always found people very difficult to understand. They were happy because of strange things, then angry because of strange things. Sometimes he hated people, sometimes he found them interesting, so he wanted to play with them until he met Jin Kang. She said he was a good person, and he wanted to become a good person, but things went too far. When he felt he had lived like a human being, he killed someone. He didn't regret it. He understood his life would end because of it, but he, Jin Kang, didn't want Sinan to harm him. Hearing these words, Jin Kang immediately drove to Hisan. Meanwhile, Jin Kang had already arrived at the mountain. On the way to her old house, forgotten memories suddenly resurfaced. She recognized Mo Dong as the boy who had taken care of her when she was little. Finally, Jin Kang found Mo Dong. Upon meeting him, she asked if he was avoiding her because of her brother, his father. Mo Dong coldly replied yes, but she knew he was trying to hide it. Seeing that Mo Dong was still not being truthful, Jin Kang took. She threatened his life, saying she knew everything. She wanted him to promise her he wouldn't. She wanted them to live together, but things had gone too far. He couldn't turn back anymore. To convince him, Dong Jin Kang took out an old painting and pointed to the youngest child. Clearly, this was her. Clearly, they had been together for a long time. Seeing the painting, Dong's heart softened a little, and it seemed things would get better. But at that moment, Sinan's assistant suddenly appeared, and he decisively gave them both 2 bullets. This was Sinan's father's revenge against Mo Dong after they both fell. Using all their remaining strength, they confessed their love for each other. When Jin Kak heard the gunshots, she ran to them, but it was too late. The secretary had already fled. On the floor, only the bodies of the 2 remained. Jin Kak wept heartbrokenly. In Mo Dong's suicide note, besides the things He-run helped him convey, Mo Dong also hopes Jin Kak wouldn't be in love anymore. Being in love for 25 years was more than enough. At the end of the letter, Mo Dong signed his name as Kang's son, the name Jin Kang. I enjoyed the story, and it ended here, but it left a powerful message about love and caring for one another. I hope everyone can spend more time caring for and nurturing the people they love now. Goodbye and see you again in the next movies.